Hello, if this is your first time watching, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about a couple of aspects I've been through on Osu as a Mania player and a Standard player. Let's jump right into Mania first. So, before I started even playing Mania, I played the game Friday Night Funkin'. I had seen popular content creators such as Dako, Game Theory, and a couple of other people play it. At this point, I was on my Mac Pro from 2009, so to be able to play the game, I had to delete basically all the assets until it was just the arrows to be able to see any of the notes. I remember my first time passing some of the hardest songs in it, and the happiness it filled me from accomplishing a new feat. After I beat the original game, I noticed there were some mods. I didn't quite know how to use them, but I figured it out eventually. I had to use Wine on my Mac at the time because all mods came as Windows executables. Once again, I had to delete all the assets from the game to be able to play. I remember such mods as Midfight Masses, versus Witty, and many more mods. By the time I started to beat those consistently, they became too easy, and I had begun to wish I could reset my skill. That was before I knew about Osu. One time I was scrolling through YouTube, and I happened to come across a YouTube video on someone completing Galaxy Collapse, and I was amazed. I just had to get the game by this point. I had a laptop that could better run things. I ended up downloading Osu and trying some songs. I wasn't very good when I had started, and so I changed the keys I used from arrow keys to the default. I would play on and off just to test my skill, to see if I had gotten any better, but yet, unbeknownst to me, I would soon leave the FNF scene. I was playing Friday Night Funkin' in a public server one day, just streaming it, thinking I could show off. Then I hear, "Wow, you think that's good? Look at this." I go out of my game and look for who said it. His name is not Akagi. I looked at his screen and he was playing Mania, and he looked crazy good at it. I ended up joining a private server of his and met some of my best friends that I now have there. After I saw Natakagi play, I told myself one day I wanted to be better than him. Since I'm homeschooled, I have a lot of time on my hands. And back then, all of my free time was put into Osu. I remember starting out being able to barely beat 3-star maps at the time, and Natakagi was S-ing 4 stars. I had to get better than him. I remember being so mad when he would easily snipe me on any score I set. So I made it a goal to change that, make it so he couldn't snipe me so easily. I started gradually getting better and better at the game, downloading a variety of charts and such, all just to get better than Natakagi. If you're watching this, I thank you for getting me into Osu. Playing it has made my life more enjoyable than you could even imagine, even if it doesn't seem like it. But back to what I was saying. I can remember my first 200 PB play, Galaxy Collapse halftime. I was so happy, but I still knew I could do better. I started to play non-stop, getting better and better scores. But after a bunch of 200s, I felt like I had reached a point where I couldn't continue. I hit a skill barrier, and that's when I decided to switch to Standard. I started Standard with high hopes, thinking that I would be super good at the game as soon as I started. I was setting 30 PP plays during my second week of playing. I normally went for SSs on songs because I was good at accuracy. DT, Hidden, and Hard Rock were my friends at the time, but once again, it had felt like I reached a skill barrier, and it felt like that multiple times until I would set a new top play on some random map. I now play Standard as much as I did Mania, as I find it to be more challenging and not as competitive. Not that Standard still isn't competitive. After a while, though, I started to set better plays. 79 PP one day, 88 the next. But one day I was farming and I decided to try for a 100 PP play. As that is still a challenge for me, I ended up playing Emotional Uplifting Orchestra with DT, Hidden, and Hard Rock, and I SS'd it for a total of 100 PP. That made me happy, but not for long. I feel, though, now, as if I'm stuck emotionally. I've been told by multiple of my friends that if I think of myself as being good, I'll do better. The problem is I compare myself to them. Most of them are 5 digits with probably 700 plus hours at the game, and I'm a 6 digit with 160 hours. I know I need to quit comparing myself, but old habits die hard. If any of my friends are watching, you know who you are. Thank you for helping me through all the times I've been super angry at the game or even at myself. I take you guys' words to heart, even if it doesn't seem like it. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm not listening. I just keep going back to my old habits. Thank you all for everything you've done. And for the viewers that don't know me, thanks for watching. Even if you don't subscribe, I thank you for taking your time and listening to me yak about my experience. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.